That's it. There is no problem. There is no marginalization. But fairness, bring it in.
So that sense of unfairness, is that pervading now in the society is what I'm asking. That because we are the majority religion in this, or supposed to be the majority religion in the country, the doles that we are, or the freedom we are giving to the other religions is marginalizing us. Is that a sense that is there or no?
The sense of it may be partially yes, I do not want to say completely no, but freedom that we are giving to other religions or others are giving freedom to us, that is not applicable. I mean, who is there to give us freedom? But maybe I'm slightly detouring it. With all this passion towards Hinduism and Hindutva that you are talking about it, I wonder, barring this hall, how many of the people outside are even caring to know or have that curiosity, have that kind of sense of quest to know about more about our own, our culture, our religion, our practices, our family deity, our rituals at home. How many of them are taking care of that? Everything turns into it with a different frame, with a different color. Why should that happen? Why should it, at a drop of a hat, I must only drop the things which are being brought through my culture or my family tradition? We don't do that with the other. So unless this kind of churning has to happen, then even the sense of marginalizing will not be there. But now if you have it, a sense of it from academic institute, I can say yes, it is there. So, because my students who are from Hindu background, and we have limited seats under minority, and we have, ours is a linguistic minority, not a religious minority. Otherwise, SIES newspaper should not come out with new rules. SIES is a linguistic minority. It's only a South Indian linguistic minority college. So we don't have a religious problem with us. So we may take Tamil Muslim, for me, is also priority, on priority, as much as a Tamil Christian or a Tamil Hindu or that way. So linguistic minority does not have so much of a problem. But in general, when we are talking about educational institutions where these kind of seats are reserved and they've been done like this, definitely the people are getting much. They have a sense of, there is an unfairness. That is very painful. That is not right.
So, which brings me to another aspect of Hinduism, because we are so freewheeling as a religion in a sense, right? Lots of freedom given to people who follow Hinduism. The downside of it, and this is a question that I read, one of the questions that we got, was that, you mentioned there is no particular day to go to the temple for us, etc., etc. But because there is a day in other religions, because there is a way in which it's prescribed to pray, or there are some rules and regulations, they are followed from generation to generation, and even the present generation, therefore a large percentage of that generation still follows that religion, because there have been those diktats, if you want to call them. Because we've been so freewheeling as a generation, a lot of our rituals, rites, beliefs have got diluted over the years, and the newer generation doesn't seem to be even aware, right? And that question had an interesting, yesterday we saw children, saying that, oh, we are still interested or whatever, we are, still motivated. They're saying the parents themselves don't know about the rituals and rites anymore, right? So what are we talking about the children? So has that been one of the downsides of the religion, because of it's given you so much latitude?
I feel, there's a flip side to it. One, as you said rightly, that most of the religions have got a lot of rigid rules to follow, and that looks like from your question, that has safeguarded the religion all the while, because you have to do it on a Sunday, on a Friday you have to do this, you have to carry out all these rituals particularly, and therefore those religions are kept, and with ours we have kept it open. But if you're going to use the word freedom, the person has been given free to follow the religion the way he wants. I don't think the freedom has got such a limited definition. Freedom comes with a huge responsibility. No freedom is just absolute freedom that we are talking about. Because the moment we say that the freedom comes with responsibility, it is an individual responsibility to know about it. What am I supposed to do, and when I am supposed to do, and what kind of things should I learn, at what time should I learn? That curiosity should be inculcated. This kind of giving it away and taking it for granted that Having born as a Hindu, that means you got the moksha completely. It's not that. There is no proxy in religion. There is no what kind of given, completely given or free of cost anything. All of us have to carry the cross that we have brought with us. We have to bear what we have got with us, and everything that we have to do is at the individualistic. It's the only religion which gives you this kind of a message, very, very uncompromising manner, that it is you have to work out for your own self-realization. You will have to realize, even the person sitting next to you, however much he may be carrying the Gita book with you, cannot guarantee your liberation. You will have to work for it. This is very clearly told. In spite of that, if you are going to ask that, I am having completely free, it's given, let that responsibility come with that. Just a minute I'll take and give it to you, Swamiji. Having toured some of the Western European countries, and I've been one of the religious pluralism group across the globe, and it's really funny. I can have a good laugh at it at many times. There are these religious groups which tell you that you have to do it, and I've seen literally the children crying in the church. Absolutely, for saying that it's kind of a hallowed courage. Their knowledge is not given. It's almost thrusted onto you. If you don't do it, already you're a sinner. It starts with that. Who is going to come and tell you that you could be a Brahmajnani sitting here? Do little more efforts, next Janma, somewhere you can be at least little like Vivekananda. You could be somewhere. That opportunity, that optimism is given to us. I'll have to work for myself. Nobody else will do it. This kind of I'm not blaming Christianity or Islam for that matter. A lot of good values you can also take it up from them. Because as a comparative study of religion that we do exhaustive exercises, and we do a comparative study very interestingly from the other. But let us not take it for granted just because completely no Sunday or a Monday has been thrusted onto you, then therefore it has been very loosely in it. I think for Hindus 7 days is not enough. Don't you think so?
Yes. Our strength is appearing as a weakness. Hinduism is basically moksha focused, the ultimateness. Now you can't have moksha with a lot of guilt and this inside you. So they gave a lot of freedom, leaving it for the individual to pick up whatever discipline they wanted to. Shiva Bhakta, Monday hai na? Devi, Tuesday hai na? Vishnu, Thursday hai? Devi again, Friday. Hanuman, Saturday, Tuesday bhi hai. Surya, all the Shanmata worship has been covered. In fact, if you really look at it, you won't have enough days. Any Maharashtrian here? How many days do you all don't eat non-veg? Oh, Monday, Tuesday, Thursdays. Yeah, one of my friends' mother used to think it's not worth cooking on those days. Because they were following that. There's always some discipline. But because this freedom was highlighted, this started a little bit before independence. If you look at our father's generation, my father's generation, that age group we are talking about, there was a certain religious awareness, etc. It's from our generation that went out. Because in the name of sophistication and modernity, we became westernized. The influence started in 1837 with Macaulay's system of education. It's all available on the net. I don't have to justify these things. With his focus on education, where we will create babus for the empire. That's why our education system is so pathetic because of that. And we have happily continued that. Some of our political leaders, post-independence, also happily continued that. Probably they were seized with other things if I am being kind to them. Or they were idiotic enough not to understand if I am being a little bit more tough on them. Either way you can take it. And therefore, our generation, we were the people who did not put enough into our kids. Our generation did not put into our kids, whether it is in terms of culture. You're okay?
The chair is.
Yeah, that can be worked upon. Whether it is in terms of culture, religion, heritage, I know because I am a product of the same culture. I was a guy who took French in school, not Sanskrit. When the option of Sanskrit was there. Uday was the smarter one, he took Sanskrit. I took French. Why? I want to travel the world, see the world. So one foreign language is good. Not that the French understood my French anyway. But can you see, because of this history like this, our kids grew up without anything. That is why I am very grateful to our Pai and his daughter. Amar Chitra Gatha. Great source, at least of our heritage in this thing. So I think as parents here, we owe that responsibility of exposing our children to something. First learning ourselves, because many of us require to learn ourselves, then exposing our kids. Then this, what is appearing as a weakness now, will actually become our strength. If there is knowledge, this freedom is strength, not otherwise.
Thank you, Swamiji and Dr. Uma Shankar. Thank you so much for a very enlightening discussion on Hinduism. I know all your questions on Hinduism were not answered. Sir,